The skeleton is in the DorkLair. Welcome to another DorkLair action figure review. Today I'm taking a look at the Mythic Legion's Skeleton Legion Builder from the Advent of Decay. So this is a 2.0 Skeleton Legion Builder. As it comes in the box, it has the female torso and head and like ponytail and stuff. But in addition to that, it does have a separate torso with a separate head sculpt. So you got a lot of different options with this. It was a more expensive Legion Builder. So it was a $35 version of a Legion Builder, but it does have the sort of advanced paint applications, the really highly detailed paint work. And then it also has that completely separate torso. So I feel like it is pretty loaded even for a $35 release, even though it doesn't really have like a name. It's not a character, but it is really good for army building because there are so many different swap out options you can do with this. So this is a great one to get a couple of. So let's get into this review. As always, it comes in the collector-friendly package with the slide-out back and insert. There you have the Necronominus logo on the side there. Got some Mythic Legion's Four Horsemen info and some pictures of the character on this side. Very simple, but very elegant packaging. Okay, getting a look at the sculpt paint and details on the Skeleton Legion Builder with the helmeted head sculpt and horns on there. You can see lots of great sculpt and paint details on that head. You've got the ponytail coming off of the back there. It's a few different sort of shades and wash in there, giving it a little bit of a variety of color, bringing out the kind of the sculpt work on those braids. Those horns have a very nice bone quality to them, as does the face itself. The teeth are painted separately. The eyes, the nose have that sort of black void going on. The helmet, really nicely sort of dry brushed, looks very metallic. That same metallic kind of paint work runs throughout. It's like a rusty old armor. It was a female warrior in here that rotted out and rose back up from the dead. And man, that's just some really great paint work and details there. And of course, you can see sort of the armor scroll work in there. That this is a very versatile body torso that can be painted in a lot of different ways, and they've done quite a few different versions of it, which is pretty cool. And you got like the little skirt piece in the back and the sort of skirt all around. That's sort of the softer rubber, and the loincloth in the front. That's again softer plastic. The bones on the arms are again they are very bone-like. It's not just one solid sort of color or it's not sculpted in that. You can see the plastic on the elbow joint there, but that's kind of comes with the territory here. But excellent looking figure. You can see the sculpt work on the legs there. Those little, I don't know what you call those. Somebody who's good at anatomy and knows something about bones. Maybe somebody, an archaeologist or something can let me know like why there's always those little holes in the bones like that. But it gives it that realistic look, And then down into the greaves here. Very nicely sculpted. This armor looks like it's in ruins, It's all rusted out and stuff. And then you can see the feet here. Beautifully sculpted. Even on the bottom, it's got peg holes. One little thing that I really like is that, I don't know if you're aware of this, but if you have any of these stands from your Marvel Select figures, the Mythic Legions fit perfectly on these stands, by the way. They're really great. So if you have those laying around, don't get rid of them. Save them and put your Mythic Legions figures on there. It fits perfectly. Anyway, so that's pretty much the look of the figure. We're going to get another closer look at a whole other head and torso when we get to the accessories, but fantastic. I mean, that's what they do. Mythic Legions, the Four Horsemen, their sculpt work is just incredible. These 2.0 figures are amazing, and they're all still pretty readily available. So like you could still get this one. You can't find it for $35 because that's pretty much just the pre-order price. But the normal aftermarket of $50, it's still very readily available. I think I checked and it was still on Big Bad Toy Store for that price. And so yeah, so this is a very easy figure to get if you're looking for it in the aftermarket, unlike some of the 1.0 body type figures that seem to end up selling out really quickly. And bringing in a few other figures for some size comparisons. Starting off with some other Mythic Legions figures, we have the 1.0 skeleton, so you can see how that compares to the 1.0 version. And then we have a 2.0, another 2.0 body, shares some of the parts as this Grisha the Slitherer. And just so you can see, with a goblin in the mix, there is Nubnik the Goblin. And then on the left, we have a Marvel Legends Thor figure and a NECA Superman figure on the right. So those are pretty big compared to the skeleton. Finally, on the left, we have a Black Series Mandalorian and the movie realization Captain America figure. So the Black Series are definitely smaller scale than these. But I think the movie realization, although it's bigger, it's pretty closer in scale than the Black Series. As we get into accessories, I just want to show you what the torso looks like off. And then now I'll put it on the body so you can see how it looks on. Okay, so here it is with the other torso and head on there. And of course, you can swap the other head onto the other torso and back and forth. So, you really do get a bunch of options with this figure. And this torso is basically, so if that Grisha the Slitherer I showed earlier, it's the lower torso of that. And then the upper torso of the Goblin I showed earlier. So they really like to mix and match their pieces with these. And so yeah, so that's the other torso. Again, it's got that great paint application, looks really just old and rusted out and worn out, chipped and everything like that. So excellent looking piece right there. And for other accessory pieces, it comes with these two shoulder pauldrons that I had on there at the beginning of the video. Comes with a rusty sword. This is just your sort of basic looking sword over here. Comes with a shield as well. Again, rusted out, and it's got all those little kind of paint applications throughout that give it that really just weathered look. Same thing on the inside. And the other weapon it comes with is this spear. Very long spear over here. You can kind of see how tall it is. Can't even get it in the shot, but very long spear. Again, rusted out metal. And of course, it comes with the usual set of adapters for the back and then a shoulder harness so you can store a weapon on the character. And for articulation, the head is on ball joint. Looks up this far, looks down this far, spins around. You can cock it side to side, so on and so forth. The arm can come up just slightly past or maybe right about 90 degrees, and it's got a little piece here that's not attached to the arm so that it'll actually kind of go all the way up and sort of slide up and over that shoulder armor there. So that's a nice touch. Swings all the way around, single jointed elbow, comes up about this far. There's an elbow swivel, and then there's a swivel at the forearm and hinge at the wrist, and the wrist will swivel as well. One of the biggest improvements from 1.0 to 2.0 is that there's an upper torso articulation point. So this thing can crunch back and forth. It can kind of rock side to side and spin around a little bit up top there. And then the waist is basically the same. It just kind of swivels like this. There's a hinge and a swivel at the hip. Can kick out and back. This one's slightly loose, but not as loose as some of the earlier releases. So they've been doing a pretty good job of tightening up some of those hips. And then the knee can hinge back this far. There is a swivel at the knee, but there's not a lot of movement. And the leg is a little gummy, so it's kind of hard to swivel that around. You can see the leg flexing right there. And then at the bottom, at the foot, there's some really good articulation in the ankle. It can spin, it can point up and down, and then it can rock side to side incredibly well. So the 2.0 figures have, because of that upper torso, have a slightly better articulation than the 1.0. This figure's a little gummy, and it might be slightly loose, but definitely not as bad as some of the early ones. So there's not really a lot for me to complain about with this figure. This is an awesome release. Again, this is a really easy one to find out there at still a good price. So, if this is something you're considering, get out there and find one, because at some point that supply will probably run out. So, better sooner than later to try to find these. This is an awesome figure, a lot of versatility. You can make so many different options between the two different heads and the two different torsos. The shoulder armor, which I meant to show that again, throw that back on there. Just an awesome release, great figure. I'm super excited for that next wave, which is the Siege at Bjorngar, and it's going to have the ogre scale figures in the mix too. So I'll be getting reviews up of that soon because those are going to be shipping very shortly. I know that Megalopolis already has them in hand, and they are starting to ship out right now. So be on the lookout for those reviews. I will be doing another Star Wars Vintage Collection unboxing very soon, probably next week, because the response was great. It didn't get a ton of views, but the response that on social media and just people messaging me and stuff really seemed to like that last unboxing. So I'll be coming back to doing more of those as well. Thanks for watching my video, and until next time, may the Force be with you.